has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
Couple things. Did you know that we have an app? The SportsGrid app is phenomenal. Great technology. You can get it in the iOS or Play Store for Android. Go get it. It's free. Free. Free as me. You can watch the network on the app. You can listen to our radio side on the app from satellite radio. And, Sirius XM 159. It's got that channel right on there. It's beautiful. If you don't like looking at us, you can just listen to us. It's great. You can follow your favorite hosts like Carver High and Ferrall and all the others. Your boy Donnie Rightside and all the great hosts. Joey Prawns. You can listen to Carver and Lisi on there. It's free. What are you waiting for? The SportsGrid app. Go get it today. Hey, did you know we're streaming on X? Yes, sir. Just go to SportsGrid-Live and you can watch us live on X every day, 7 days a week. Imagine that. Hey, the podcast of Ferrall Coast to Coast, all 3 hours, and Ferrall on a Bench, which is generally between 5 and 15 minutes every day of all the highlights, scores, covers, and who's playing that night and everything. They're available on iTunes. Go get them today. Programming note. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern on TNT, we're all excited here for the Four Nations Cup. Canada and Sweden on TNT tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. Carver High will be right next to the fireplace watching the Four Nations kick off with a great Canadian-Swedish matchup. Let's go.
Might have to do some, because why not? I mean, we got enough time now. We might have to
Pigs in a blanket.
We might have to do some goal props tomorrow for that game. We're going to have to get some goal props, some tournament-long props for the Four Nations. We'll have to roll a few of those out tomorrow on a Golf Wednesday to get
roll
things
something
cooking.
out as well.
Yes. Here we go. Last couple football things for you. First, I like that the NFL figured it out and they've started to go back to the logos that like tie in the city that the game's in. You remember how generic and boring it was for like 15 years? They just gave you the Super Bowl, the Lombardi Trophy with like the letters. Yeah. There you go. Now they've put like some California. They've got the Golden Gate Bridge back there. All that. It looks nice for next year.
There's
Super Bowl
some
logo,
big
Super Bowl
Sur trees right there. Those are that's the Palo Alto Stanford tree.
It might be. The draft is on now. 72 days away is what the draft is, because now today is the 11th. 72 days away from the NFL draft.
Coverage.
We knew that the Titans have the first pick. Now we know that the Eagles will pick 32nd. There's your draft order that I have for you. The first round of the NFL draft, getting a little closer. Titans, Browns, Giants, Pats, Jags, the first 5 picks. The Chiefs will pick 31st. The Eagles will pick 32nd. The Steelers have
all
the
of our
21st.
teams have awful picks, except for Mafia.
Yeah.
Mafia's got a good pick. What, the 7th?
Mafia's
That's not
got
bad.
A good pick. Mafia's got a good pick.
Is Luke a Giants fan?
Luke's
is he a Giants fan,
guy.
Right?
I believe he's a
got
Giant
a great
guy.
pick.
I'm pretty sure.
He's got a
so
great
he's
pick.
got the 3rd pick. They'll screw it up, he says. So they'll screw it up. I actually agree with him.
We got to get a microphone on Mafia and Luke on this show.
I agree with him.
A microphone
for
button.
that aspect.
Honestly.
So
hold on. Mafia, can you get out the book of things to do and get a microphone button for you and Luke for the show for instant analysis? All you do is press the button and you interject into the show. Things to do book, if you can pull that out. And while you're there, will you do me a favor and grab my tequila and my pills? Sorry
so
about
since
that,
the draft is 72 days away, the odds for the top pick, Cam Ward minus 115 is the top choice with Abdul Carter at plus
That'll
190. Travis Hunter, Shador Sanders, Action Jackson Dart up there too. It's going to be one of the 4 guys at the top. It's going to be one of them.
Honestly, I'd be very, now look, I don't deny I like Cam Ward, but let's calm down here. In the biggest games, he was fumbling the ball, throwing picks. He completed 67% of his passes. I won't deny his stock skyrocketed in Coral Gables, but there's no way he's better than that Sanders kid who threw for 73% of his passes. And look at how far down the board he is. And that kid can do it all and run. He's fast, break ankles. Cam Ward don't run anywhere. Now, I won't deny he's bigger, stronger. I'd say a better arm. That's why they're doing that prototypical pick for the NFL. But I'm a Canes fan. I am telling you, I'm admitting right now that the kid from Colorado's better. Just a better player. And he's more exciting. And you're going to get burned on that if Tennessee picks him number one. They're going to get burned. Look, I like Cam. I just don't think he's the number one pick in the NFL draft. I really don't. And that's out of full respect. I'm a Canes fan. But let's face facts. They melted down per usual like they always do. Honestly, do you remember when I used to have the 5 national championships behind me? Notice I changed that. I can't take it anymore. Ever since Louisiana Tech, I've had to seek help. I go to a shrink once a week.
I think it's going to be Abdul Carter, honestly. I think they're going to take the pass rusher.
Oh, God.
With
I can't imagine that they pick him number one either. They're already going to trade Micah Parsons, the Cowboys. They've given up on that loudmouth, and you think I'm painful.
Saints have made it official today. They're going to hire Kellen Moore as their new head coach. God bless and good luck on that front. Will they at least let him go party this week? Does he get to go to the parade and do all that stuff, or does he have to get right to work down in New Orleans? Just get right down there.
I think he should be entitled to go to the parade and then go down there Saturday and go to Acme Oyster Bar.
He should celebrate his first night in New Orleans as the head coach by going and sitting at the bar at the Acme Oyster Bar. You're right. And then maybe go to GW Finn's the next night.
I agree. And then to Mr. B's.
Mr. B's. You mentioned Parsons. The Cowboys allegedly have discussed moving on from Micah Parsons. I'll say this. For a team that has as much cap problems as they have and need a lot of things, I mean, why not? You might see what you can get. Maybe somebody's going to offer you the King's ransom for him. Go ahead.
Well, listen, I mean, I hate to say it, but he never did anything anyway. What did he do? All he ever did there was talk. He never did anything else.
Does a lot of talking.
He never won anything. What did he do? He got worse this year than before. He was better before. Now he's like, all he does is talk about how great he is and how much of a leader he is, and they never win. I would trade his ass faster than you could spit. And you know what he needs? That guy needs a little humble pie. He needs to come back down to earth. He thinks he's such a badass, and he never does anything. I mean, let's just get real here. When does Dallas do any effing thing? Never. They're they're middle of the pack. They don't even matter, and neither does he. I mean,
neither does he. Yeah, no, look, in the biggest games, I know there's some games he gets some sacks, but
all he does is talk.
The Cowboys are also going to hire former Bills and Browns offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey to Brian Schottenheimer's staff. Good luck with Ken. Good luck, Ken Dorsey. There.
He's the worst. Ask Carver. He's the worst.
He's not great.
He's the absolute worst offensive coordinator ever. I love he played at the U, but that was the last time he was good at anything.
He's now he's not going to be the offensive coordinator, but he's going to be on the staff allegedly.
I wouldn't let him be the offensive coordinator at Miami for the Canes.
I've got 2 or 3 other quick NFL stories, and then we'll get into a huge night of college rack. Huge night of college rack that we have to get to. Some huge games all across the country this evening. 4 racks of ribs of college.
How about the Jets? They want Kirk Cousins.
slow play drumbeat grows louder and louder every week, to the point now that they're making overt references to it on the broadcast.
So there's plenty of other guys that have to get faster. Tom definitely is more deliberate in his conversations, always has been since he's been on tour. I just think about Joe Scavern, when those two started working together, how their conversations always seem to just keep on going and going.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
I can't take Boston at minus 110. I don't see the value in it, right? You're getting minus money. If Boston were to turn around and become even money or a plus 105 or plus 110, yeah, I can understand you want to take that. So because of the value at 5.5 to 1, I got to like the Knicks and their chances of coming out of the East.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
In a short format tournament like this, like the Olympics, now this is even smaller, only 4 teams. Who's got the best goaltending? Over, you're talking 3 round robin games and then a knockout with 4 teams. So you're playing 5 games.
I'm not sold yet, Mike, on the USA stuff, on the merch, but I think I'm sold on the USA at least being in the final.
Only on SportsGrid.
Patino himself, in a clip that we just played, said basically the stats are not backing up the team's wins.
St. John's is offensive glass. That's where a lot of opportunities for St. John's came from. St. John's does not shoot the basketball well. It might even be fair to say they shoot it poorly. They were 3 of 16 from deep last night. But it doesn't seem to matter to them.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
I got to tell you, I am sick and tired of hearing about Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. Honestly, can we just get this out of our system, like once and for all? Like all we ever hear about is where these dudes are going and how do we make these two happy? I'm sick of him and his Taco Bell commercials. I'm sick of this one, Rodgers, and all of his documentaries. I don't even care that I was on one of them. I don't care where he plays. And honest to Christ, I don't want him in Pittsburgh. If we get him and they blow off Justin Fields for that old geezer, I'm going to puke. I really am.
I did see some people say today that they thought the Steelers were the most likely landing spot for Rodgers. It won't be with the Jets, as we gave you that story yesterday. There was a little bit more detail to that that was let out today. Allegedly, the Jets told him, here's right from the story, if you're going to be part of this team, you're going to attend all of training camp. You're not going to do Pat McAfee interviews anymore. I guess Aaron wasn't in for that, which is part of the reason why Aaron's not going to be there.
Well, nobody tells Aaron what to do, and Morency's better on McAfee anyway. They should just have Morency on there, because I thought Rodgers was boring. I'm sick of hearing about Rodgers' life. I really am. Like I told you, when I watched the documentary, I had more respect for him. I liked him when he was a kid, and he was in Northern California trying to make it. Nobody respected him. Nobody wanted him. He had to play JUCO. That Aaron Rodgers I liked. When he went to Cal, Berkeley, and made a name for himself, and then when he got blown off in the draft, that Aaron Rodgers I liked. Once that guy got in the NFL and started starting and making money, I mean, he became a giant P. I mean, he's just painful. I don't care what anybody says. I already know I'm painful, but I don't play in the NFL, so screw you.
Kirk Cousins could be a cheap option for the Jets or anybody. Remember, Cousins is going to be like Russell Wilson was last year. Because he's making $30 million from the Falcons, you're going to get Cousins for a couple $1 million. $1 or $2 million.
Did you hear him talking like Manny Pacquiao? His arm hurt. He said he had arm surgery. Yeah. He had arm injuries. That's why he sucks so bad. He said he pulled a Pacquiao. My shoulder hurts after Mayweather beat his ass.
He's got to get all that out there, get all the info out so that somebody actually takes him in and wants him to start.
He was awful.
Awful. awful. If the Rams trade Matthew Stafford, which I guess that's something that they want to do, apparently, the Steelers and the Giants are among those who are the best fits. Maybe they think it's getting to the end, and they can actually. It sounds like maybe somebody still wants to give them something for him, as opposed to him playing another year and just retiring and getting nothing for him.
He had the ball at the 20-yard line of the Eagles with a chance to win the game. And let me tell you this. I don't believe that Matt Stafford could take the abuse that quarterbacks take in the North, in the AFC North. I don't think he'd last in Pittsburgh 5 minutes. He'd be injured and miss the entire season. I don't think he'd take the hits.
I don't think it's a good spot for him. I don't think the Giants are a good spot for him either with that awful offensive line. I think he gets smashed in that place too.
He'll be in a body bag.
So, we've obviously done the Steelers with Bradshaw.
All right, so move on.
We did all that as well either. So let's get to the college rack. A few things from last night. Houston did beat Baylor by 11 in that game, so that was a cover. Clemson took I missed on this. Clemson took Carolina to the woodshed. I mean, they beat them by 20, 85-65. The Tar Heels suck. Let's just say it like it is. They stink.
They do not deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. Let's stop with. So it's okay for them to be 14-11, but Indiana's, no chance. They're done. They're out. I've already accepted Indiana shouldn't be in the NCAA tournament. They're not a tournament team. You cannot let North Carolina in when they suck as bad as Indiana does.
I do not disagree with that. North Carolina is not a tournament team this year. They should be nowhere near. And they'll be, like you said with Indiana earlier, they'll do the same thing. They're too good for all the other stuff, the NITs and all those other ones. And they'll just say, we won't be there. I wanted to give you this before I go to tonight's game. St. John's ranked in the top 10 of the AP poll for the first time since 2000.
That's who I'm rooting for now.
Years. And how about this? This is the first time this season that when I give you the big board, St. John's is actually on it. How about that? Auburn, Duke, Houston, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, Iowa State, Kansas, and the Johnnies have made the big board for the national title favorites. How about that?
Yeah, listen, I know that Danny Hurley said they don't crown champions in February, but he's not getting crowned this year. I can guarantee you that, so they shouldn't be on that board. They don't matter. They'll have their own problems tonight in Omaha. That would be a big win for UConn because they can't beat anybody else that matters. If they went to Creighton and won that game, to me, that'd be a big win. St. John's is now Luke's got me on the hook. I am now rooting for Pitino and the Johnnies the rest of the way. That's the team I'm going to root for. And another team I like that's dangerous as all hell is Florida. But I have already said to you before the season even began, before it even started, I picked Duke to play for a national championship with Cooper Flagg. Now, I was really concerned with what I saw at Littlejohn on Sunday, whatever it was, Saturday, when I saw him get shut down and they got beat by Clemson. That concerned me because all that great defense and all that Cooper Flagg stuff went down the toilet at Clemson. So they got to play a lot better to win the NCAA championship or be in the title game for that matter. You got to play your best ball and win those 6 games to get it done. And the way they played at Littlejohn doesn't cut the mustard.
I was saying this to Luke yesterday because he was all pumped up about the Johnnies, and the same thing with Duke. Like, I don't mind if you lose a game here or there in February. I don't mind that at all. I think it's bad, as weird as this sounds, to go into March, to go into the NCAA tournament on some 10, 12, 15-game win streak. I think it adds too much pressure. You start getting asked about win streaks. You want no distractions. You just want to go game by game and not worry about some long winning streak. I don't think it's the worst thing that Duke lost that game. I still think they're going to be in the Final Four like you. Flagg's ridiculous, and they're going to get themselves there. The Johnnies, now that would be a lot of fun, especially around here, if they actually made a run.
I mean, to tell you, and I don't really care as much about the Big East. I want them to do well in the NCAAs.
Are you looking for a way to get a winning edge on your NFL bets or fantasy league this season? Look no further than Sports Injury Central's new premium subscription, Sick Data. With up-to-the-minute injury analysis from our panel of former pro sports team doctors, Sick Data is the only way to stay ahead of your competitors and sportsbooks by making informed decisions on injuries. So why wait? Sign up to Sick Data today and start winning.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
You want me to solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials? Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass in the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes. End of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Coming up in a little bit, the Las Vegas golfer himself, Brady Cannon, styling with Carver High, talking LIV golf. But we're into college rack right now, so slow down.
That's right. Slow your roll. We got a lot of games for us coming tonight, Scotty, as you know. Why don't we start with Auburn, who visits Vanderbilt this evening. This is actually down to 8.5 now. Auburn on the road. They are favorites there. Also tonight, Florida at Mississippi State. Miss State, the short favorite at home. Tennessee and Kentucky. Remember, Kentucky beat them in Knoxville a couple of weeks ago, Scotty. Now Tennessee, the short favorite in Lexington. Purdue and Michigan tonight. Iowa State visiting UCF.
I still think Iowa State is going to go down to Orlando and win that game and handle their business. They're just too good and too deep and too defensive. TJ's got them playing ball again after they lost a couple games. They lost 3 in a row, and you thought the world was ending, but they're back. They won over the weekend by like 50. I like Michigan at Chrysler to upset Purdue, and I think that's kind of what it is after Purdue beat their ass at Mackey. I mean, destroyed them. I like Kentucky at home at Rupp tonight. This is a big game for Pope, where he's going to start hearing it from the fans if they can't win big games at home in Lexington. I agree with Morency. I love this Florida team. I've loved them forever. I've been talking about this Florida team for months. They were another team that I talked about before the season that was going to be legitimate, and they got through all their coaches' bullshit, where he's been accused of everything, Title IX, sexual assault. I mean, what hasn't he been accused of? Give me Florida tonight in Stark, allegedly Vegas. And then Auburn and Vanderbilt. Auburn lost at Neville over the weekend at home, and they kept their number 1 ranking. They're going to go out tonight and prove it in Smashville, and they're going to take care of Vandy on the road. Otherwise, next week, I guarantee you they will not be number 1. They cannot keep having problems. They got to go out and put together a good game. I think Bruce Pearl will have them rocking tonight.
Big 12, BYU visiting West Virginia tonight in Morgantown. Syracuse down to Miami. How about the Hurricanes, who are what are the Hurricanes this year? They're like 5-19. 5-18, and they're 2.5-point favorite over Syracuse tonight. How bad is that? Arizona visits Kansas State, UCLA at Illinois this evening, and DePaul visiting Marquette.
Yeah, I'm not involved in betting on a team with 5 wins, thanks. I'm not even being suckered into that Cuse-Miami game. But I do like West Virginia tonight at the Coliseum in Morgantown, where when I grew up, drinking age was 18. Fantastic state move by the legislature back in the day. Give me the Mountaineers down in Morgantown with that drunk hooligan crowd of theirs. Arizona going to Little Manhattan. Going to be a nightmare tonight. K-State wins at home. I like the Wildcats with the 3.5 with the upset. I like Illinois at home. And I got to tell you, that's a brutal trip for UCLA. They've won 7 in a row. Can they cover the 6.5? God almighty, why not? The Bruins cover. Illinois wins, middle it. And I love Marquette at home. But they're not covering the big number against the rival at Fiserv. DePaul is everybody's thorn. All they do is lose, but they're in every game. They're a pain in everyone's ass. Can I get the Demons and a 17 and a hook tonight with a Rogie Vachon pick Carver High?
They love those big numbers. Let's do one more rack. We'll do the other one after Brady. Alabama visiting Texas tonight. Should be a good one. Georgia at Texas A&M. Indiana getting the big number in East Lansing against the Spartans. Colorado and Kansas. UConn visiting Omaha tonight against the Jays.
Yeah, I like Creighton in Omaha always. I like Kansas tonight. Oh, my God. They just haven't played good basketball, though. That number is enormous. Colorado's awful. I think Kansas smacks that ass. Michigan State covers at the Breslin against the Candy Hoosiers. I mean, you know what they are? Cotton candy. They're so soft. They're cotton candy. That's that airy candy your kids love on a stick. I mean, they are cotton candy. That's a new one on the show. A&M in College Station tonight, getting involved. They'll beat Georgia's ass. And I like Bama on the road at the Moody in Austin. They may not win, but you can go out after the game and pick up hot chicks. I'm telling you what, they party in Austin. No joke.
Sometimes that's better than the game. Sometimes. I'll give you the last rack and any other stragglers that you have after we get ready for Adelaide LIV this week with
Las
Brady
Vegas
Cannon.
cover. Brady Cannon.
Slow play drum beat grows louder and louder every week to the point now that they're making overt references to it on the broadcast.
So there's plenty of other guys that have to get faster. Tom definitely is more deliberate in his conversations, always has been since he's been on tour. I just think about Joe Scavern, when those two started working together, how their conversations always seem to just keep on going and going.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
I can't take Boston at minus 110. I don't see the value in it, right? You're getting minus money. If Boston were to turn around and become even money or a plus 105 or plus 110, yeah, I can understand you want to take that. So because of the value at 5.5 to 1, I got to like the Knicks and their chances of coming out of the East.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
In a short format tournament like this, like the Olympics, now this is even smaller, only 4 teams. Who's got the best goaltending? You're talking 3 round robin games and then a knockout with 4 teams. So you're playing 5 games.
I'm not sold yet, Mike, on the USA stuff, on the merch, but I think I'm sold on the USA at least being in the final.
Only on SportsGrid.
Patino himself, in a clip that we just played, said basically the stats are not backing up the team's wins.
St. John's offensive glass. That's where a lot of opportunities for St. John's came from. St. John's does not shoot the basketball well. It might even be fair to say they shoot it poorly. They were 3 of 16 from deep last night. But it doesn't seem to matter to them.
Newswire. only on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast here on a Tuesday. Carver High here with you as we get ready. Now, obviously, Wednesdays when we always do all the golf, but when LIV has an event, you know what Tuesdays are. Brady Cannon is always with us to get ready for the LIV event. We didn't do last week, Brady. They had this little thing. Everyone was at the Super Bowl last week. They're having all this fun in New Orleans. We get shut out. With LIV's opening event over in Saudi Arabia. Hey, it is what it is. I know I didn't have Adrian Moronk last week. So, hey, but we start fresh, Brady, with Adelaide down to Australia. It's always good to see you, Brady. Thanks for coming on with us.
Hey, great to be back here on Tuesdays doing LIV golf. You're right, they snuck up on us last week, man. I hardly knew that. You're right, you had the Super Bowl, you had the Phoenix, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a LIV event. You and I were texting back. They're like, yeah, we'll get it going again next week. And hey, we were red hot last year, doing that LIV coverage. We both hit a handful of outrights. And, Mike, it's easier when there's only 54 guys in the field.
It is easier when there's only 54 guys. We had several winners between the both of us. Some weeks we both were on them. You had a bunch. I had a bunch. We had a great year on Coast to Coast picking LIV events. So we are back for 2025 to go to the window. And, Brady, I do believe you had this at Adelaide last year with the steel mill, I'm pretty sure, at LIV Adelaide. And you had him at a big price last year, too.
Yeah, Brendan, Man of Steel, I think they used to call him or whatever. I love the steel mill. That's good. We did nail Adelaide last year. I tell you what, I'll throw out my first guy, though. If you recall, we kicked off the LIV coverage last year at Doral, Miami. It was the week before the Masters. Yep. And the dean of the LIV circuit, Dean Burmester, won for us. We hit that one our very first week of coverage. We hit Burmester at Doral, and I'm going with him here in Australia as well. I think this guy has really become a class player worldwide, and he's had two good finishes. This is the third time they're at Adelaide. This is kind of, right off the heels of the People's Open in Phoenix. This is the huge party gathering on the LIV circuit as well. The LaGrange Golf Club, they play a composite of the two courses down there, and they get hundreds of thousands of fans. And Burmester finished 7th here in 2023 and 3rd last year in 2024. He was also just 4th last week on the LIV circuit. So I'm going to go with Dean Burmester, see if we can get started with another winner on the Dean.
I like the Dean. The Dean has been there. He's been so consistent. He's even been involved in a couple of the majors that he got to play in.
Yeah.
He finished pretty well. So Dean's played some good golf. Give me your other two names, because I did see a couple others. One of them is also on my board. So go ahead, Brady. Give me your other two picks.
Well, this golf course is not very long. It's less than 7,000 yards. And, of course, it's in Australia. It's a typical sand belt course. It's tree-lined. So I really think accuracy and ball striking and that type of thing is going to favor this course rather than being overpowered. Okay. I also didn't want to play any of the Australians because I think that's so hard when you're playing a home game. There's expectations and pressure. So I didn't go with any Australians. I mentioned Burmester at 25-1, Sergio Garcia at 25-1. He was 11th here in 2023 with 3 rounds of 68. He shot a 66 in 2024, had 2 rounds in the 70s, but then closed with a 66. I think he shoots 3 rounds in the 60s here. He's going to be in the mix. He's one of the leaders of the circuit in driving accuracy. We know he's always been a ball striker. And then Sebastian Munoz, the king of the first round leader play. I got him at 33-1. He was a runner-up last week at Riyadh, and he makes a bunch of birdies, accuracy off the tee. He finds a lot of fairways. I think these guys all fit the formula this week for Adelaide.
I'm going to go with you, Brady, on Sebastian Munoz. Watching him last week, you like that. When LIV plays back-to-back weeks, I think it's good to take a guy who's playing well the week before and try to have it roll over. I know sometimes with LIV, we have really big gaps of when these guys play. But when we have a back-to-back week, and I thought Munoz was playing excellent, so I'm going to go with you here, 33-1 with Sebastian Munoz. I've got him on my card for Adelaide. I'm going to go opposite of you with the home guys. I feel like with everyone seeing Sergio win in Spain last year on LIV, they're going to have a little extra. I like playing at least one guy in all these different countries if they're from there that LIV travels to. And who's better to play than Cameron Smith at 12-1 here in Adelaide? He talks about it all the time, how much he loves being here. So I'm going to play him. I love Brooks on these courses too. So 18-1, finished here good 2 years ago, wasn't as good last year. And Matt Jones finished top 10 here last year. He was T9, and it's a bomb. It's 100-1, but I'm going to take my shot with Matty and see if he can maybe replicate last year, and maybe I can have him in the mix on the third day.
I love the pick of Matt Jones and Cam Smith, of course. If there's going to be an Australian, you'd think it would be him. He's certainly, the class of the Australian contingent there on the LIV circuit, still one of the best players in the world. But I love Matt Jones, man. I used to bet him on the PGA Tour. You remember he won the Honda Classic years ago. I think there's always value on Matt Jones because nobody kind of really knows this guy, but he's much better than I think the odds makers realize. He's a really good player, and yeah, he just might get the hometown vibe there and make it happen for you.
And can I get you, before I get the PGA picks, Brady, we got to play one prop, and I'm only playing it because we're here with the watering hole, number 12. You mentioned last week, Waste Management. We hit it. It was plus 265 for a hole-in-one at Waste Management, and Emiliano Grillo, the little Argentinian with a big heart, dunked one in the second round to get us for it. I'm going to go with it, and it's only places like this, Brady. I don't play hole-in-one props every week, but at a fun place like this, I'm not in the crowd feeling it with the people, so I'm going to try to get it as much as I can at home, plus 300 at the watering hole. Let's go, Brady, for a hole-in-one.
That's a nice price. I mean, the problem is, I guess last week, you had 150-some players in the field, and now you've only got 50-some, so not quite as many chances at it.
Should be getting more.
I'm with you. I think the guys feed off that vibe, but now it's the third time they've been here, so they're probably more used to the energy in the room as well. Hey, let's do it, man. Let's get an ace.
Only one in the first 2 years. Chase Koepka in 23 had an ace at the watering hole. None last year. Maybe we can get a little every other year, and we can find one there. All right, PGA Tour Genesis, of course, moved from Riviera down to Torrey Pines. They'll be on the South Course. Signature event. All the big names are going to be there. We know Tiger was. Now he's not after the passing of his mom last week. No Xander still as he's working on the ribs. But we have Scotty. We have Rory. We have a lot of big names, Brady. Who do you like?
Yeah, great field, and I love this golf course. I went to college in San Diego. This place is near and dear to me, and, I didn't realize, somebody just pointed out to me on Twitter, there is actually a 36-hole cut here. The top 50 in ties, there's only 72 guys in the field, but the top 50 in ties will play the weekend, and also anybody that is within 10 shots of the lead. So take that into account into your handicap, however you may feel that is important. But my shortest shot, I went with Colin Morikawa, Mike. I mean, you take where the Masters finished last year when he was third, and basically since then, he's probably been the second best player in the world to Scotty Scheffler ever since. California kid, knows the Poana greens, history on the correlated courses. He's done well here before, finished fourth here in the U.S. Open in 2021. And then Tommy Fleetwood. I mean, this guy is a consummate U.S. Open type player. He doesn't have a lot of history here. Played well in the U.S. Open in 2021, but this is his true debut. But he hits it straight. He has the short game. He has the iron play. Took him at 47-1. Maverick McNeely at 52. Akshay Bhatia at 78. And then finally, Gary Woodland at 110-1. We'll see if we can get a winner.
Got to have a bomb in there. Look, Mav's been playing some great golf, McNeely, over the first month of the season. I could see it. And I'll give everyone a Golf Wednesday preview now. I am with you on Morikawa. Brady, we've been left at the altar with him for the past year. Some great finishes. Now we need him to cash for us and win one of these tournaments. Brady Cannon with us talking golf. We're back next week.
slow play drumbeat grows louder and louder every week to the point now that they're making overt references to it on the broadcast.
So there's plenty of other guys that have to get faster. Tom definitely is more deliberate in his conversations, always has been since he's been on tour. I just think about Joe Scavern, when those two started working together, how their conversations always seem to just keep on going and going.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
I can't take Boston at minus 110. I don't see the value in it, right? You're getting minus money. If Boston were to turn around and become even money or a plus 105 or plus 110, yeah, I can understand you want to take that. So because of the value at 5.5 to 1, I got to like the Knicks and their chances of coming out of the East.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
In a short format tournament like this, like the Olympics, now this is even smaller, only 4 teams. Who's got the best goaltending? Over, you're talking 3 round robin games and then a knockout with 4 teams. So you're playing 5 games.
I'm not sold yet, Mike, on the USA stuff, on the merch, but I think I'm sold on the USA at least being in the final.
Only on SportsGrid.
Patino himself, in a clip that we just played, said basically the stats are not backing up the team's wins.
St. John's offensive glass. That's where a lot of opportunities for St. John's came from. St. John's does not shoot the basketball well. It might even be fair to say they shoot it poorly. They were 3 of 16 from deep last night, but it doesn't seem to matter to them.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I love that Brady Cannon. What a great guy. Like, I went out with him in Vegas. Jesus. If I did that again a couple times, I might have injuries, honestly. They might have to, house me somewhere. I might have to be put into an institution. Like, if I go out with that guy more than once, like a year, it could be problematic. That Brady Cannon, not only, he's got all the juice in Vegas you can imagine. He knows all the heavy hitters. SportsGrid's in good hands with that guy in Sin City. He's like the mayor. In fact, I am now pronouncing him the new potential mayor of Las Vegas. The Goodmans are old and washed. We need to move on to Brady Cannon for mayor.
I don't have any problem with that. You get a second from me with Brady being the mayor of Las Vegas. Get the Goodmans out, put Brady in, and we can clean up this town. All right, rest of the college rack for tonight. Let's go. Pitt is going to be at SMU tonight as they take the trip down to Dallas. SMU, the favorite at home. USC with Penn State coming to town tonight. We also have Colorado State, Utah State. Really good game in the Mountain West. Northwestern makes the trip out to Eugene to see the Ducks. And how about this? Another good late-night game in the West Coast Conference as you have Santa Clara and St. Mary's tonight. Really good game.
SMU's going to beat Pitt's ass tonight down in Dallas. I can guarantee it. USC's going to beat Penn State because they're hairdryer city. Utah State will, in Logan, pummel Colorado State. These are all happening. Northwestern's going out to Oregon to lose by 10 or way more. And St. Mary's ain't losing in Moraga to anybody. They're not losing at home to Santa Clara or otherwise. Shock. You feel me?
Is there anything else? There's obviously a lot of other games that I didn't have up there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there sure is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, let's start with this one. Like San Diego State, I love them, but I don't trust them. San Jose State tonight upsets San Diego State in San Jose. Getting 9.5, they're going to win outright. Outright. Wow. I like Loyola Marymount at Pepperdine in Malibu. They've been all shaken up in Malibu. I feel bad for them. I like Rice and the 6 spot in Dallas over North Texas. I'm just looking for other ones. Indiana State going to Northern Iowa to get worked. Murray State will knock off Illinois, Chicago at Murray. They're not losing at home. What else? I got to find them. It's important for the community. East Carolina at home, I like over UAB. Richmond, they're going to get beat by Loyola Chicago. The Ramblers on the streets getting involved in Richmond, going to beat the Spiders. I like Kent at home big. Miami of Ohio is going to beat Toledo tonight. The Redhawks at home getting involved. Ohio laying 4.5 at Bowling Green. You get it all on C2C, baby, including extra fixins, we call them. When you get a little extra fixins with your meal.
I'm actually going to add one more because I'm not sure if I heard you say it or not. But the Billikens are a 1.5 favorite over a 19-5 George Mason team at home tonight. I like the Billikens laying the 1.5 against George Mason in the A10. So you have a lot of games tonight if you want to get involved in college rack. Really good night. Got to have extra fixins. All right, how about hockey?
Everybody loves hockey.
Everybody does love hockey. Of course, no NHL for a while, but we do have the Four Nations face-off, which will start tomorrow night. Sidney Crosby missed the last couple of games for the Penguins before the break, but he has been skating, he has been practicing, and he is ready to go for Canada. He is the captain tomorrow night, the opener against Sweden. Sid the Kid, why is he playing with this injury? Why not just rest? Maybe because the Penguins aren't going anywhere anyway. Here's what Sid had to say.
I mean, I think just the opportunity, and obviously I wanted to play, the games, prior to the break, and wasn't really an option given what happened. So, I think, you're just every opportunity you can, whether it's, playing for Pittsburgh or, playing for Canada, you don't want to miss games, and this is an awesome opportunity, something I haven't done in a long time. So wanted to be part of this group, and obviously also want to make sure that I can play at the level that you need to compete here. So everybody seemed comfortable with that, and I feel good about it.
You know what's funny is how utterly fantastic he is still. 3 Stanley Cups, a gold medal, a game-winning gold medal goal, and now playing for his country again. You better, as Carver High and I both like to say back in the day, look out. I mean, this guy is something else. He's special. I have to tell you a story, Carver High. I never told you this story. I think, Carver, you need to know about this. Mafia knows about it. Morency knows about it. So I was going into the header at the Super Bowl, and I had like 2 minutes. I didn't have time to mess around, and I went in and with my KDs on, and there was a little Slippery Jones floor going on, little ice capades, and I came in hot into the bathroom, and I slipped, and the man was in there cleaning. My man, the maintenance guy, was in there cleaning the floors, and he saw me fly through the air, and I was literally airborne, and I reached back, and I grabbed the garbage can, metal garbage can, sharp edges, and I cut my arm. I have a giant bruise to prove it. I mean, look at this side. Wait, I got to show the bruise. Giant bruise. You can see it right there. And I held the garbage can, obliterated the room, garbage everywhere, but I never went down. I would have still played through the bruised and cut arm like Sidney Crosby for his country. Mafia saw me destroy the bathroom, almost falling down. But my man cleaned up the mess for me. I slipped him a Tensky so he could have a beer for saving me. But I actually saved myself. I gave him credit to make him feel good about himself since he had to clean up the bathroom. But everyone in the bathroom almost saw Ferrall go down all 246 for me. But I saved myself and did not go down. But I have a full arm bruise to prove it.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
You want me to solve all this tush-push and fourth down malarkey that goes on with the officials? Here's a crazy idea. Get rid of the worst rule in the NFL, and that is forward progress. How about this? Where I knock your ass in the ground is where the ball goes, period. Let's end this whole conversation. Like, if I drop you back 4 yards, then you lost 4 yards. If we get rid of forward progress, this tush-push and everything else is taken care of. Where I put your tail on the ground is where the ball goes, end of conversation. It's the dumbest rule and the most arbitrary rule. The only thing that is a worse call in the NFL than forward progress is the punt that goes out of bounds when you watch the official walk down the sideline having absolutely no clue where that ball crossed over. All I can think of is that Price is Right game go do-de-do-de-do, do-de-do-de-do, as he's walking down the sideline, arbitrarily trying to figure out where the ball crossed over because he's got no clue.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Everybody loves leftovers with Carver High.
Everybody does love leftovers. I want to finish two things with Crosby before I move on. Number one, I know, and we'll do a lot of Four Nations preview tomorrow because they're playing the first game tomorrow night. But I think USA is the better team. But, geez, don't give Canada a power play, Scotty. You see who's on their power play unit?
No.
Crosby, McDavid, McKinnon, Cale Makar, and Reinhardt from Florida. Like, that's as deadly as it gets. I mean, Crosby, Connor McDavid, and McKinnon, just those three. Makar, too. You put him on the back end. That is an unbelievable first power play unit that Canada's going to be able to roll out there.
Too, and he gets no juice.
Reinhardt's a badass. The QMJHL, of course, in Quebec, names their Rookie of the Year trophy after Sidney Crosby. That award will now be named.
League is great. Violence.
Yep. A lot of violence. Crosby now there. Lots of baseball stuff. We told you yesterday, spring training has begun. Pitchers and catchers. I saw the Yankee pitchers showing up today.
You got to do baseball every day now, Carver High.
Now it's in. In fact, Booney talked today, so we're going to get our first, tomorrow on Coast to Coast, the first Booney. And it was still talking about the Dodgers, talking bad about them after the World Series. Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. Kenley Jansen signed with the Angels today.
Everyone signs with the Angels and Pirates when they have nothing else.
Clayton Kershaw is back for another round with the Dodgers. He was at the Dodger facilities today as they get going. Now, there are still a couple guys unsigned. The biggest name that is not signed yet is, of course, Alex Bregman. He is still out there. Yeah. I mean,
because he wants 7 years. That's what's wrong. He wants 7 years. He's already getting social security checks in the mailbox. He's tripping. He's not getting 7 years from anybody.
He's out of his mind. The Yankees signed reliever Tyler Matzik to a minor league deal. He's with the Braves. He's actually not bad, lefty thrower.
He's a great pitcher, but he's a broken toy.
Broken toy. That's a good way to describe him, a broken toy. Yesterday, I gave you the Yankee lineup in the field. How about the Yankee lineup? On the Yankee actual lineup, the batting lineup. and they have here Jason Dominguez as the leadoff hitter. I'll believe that when I see it. I don't see any way that they're going to put Jason Dominguez as the leadoff guy. I think he'll be in the
Look
lineup.
at Boone's
but I don't
eyes.
think he'll be leaning
He's
off.
looking in Los Angeles, looking west.
Judge, Bellinger, Stanton, Jazz, Goldschmidt. Still some holes there towards the bottom of that lineup as we get a little closer. World Series odds as we open up.
Here we go.
Spring training this week. Everybody needs to know who's the World Series. Well, of course, it's the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the favorites to win the World Series. Yankees, Braves, Phillies, Mets, Orioles. Everyone's excited about the Mets. I'm still waiting for someone to tell me who's pitching for them. I know they got a great lineup with Soto now, but who's pitching?
Sean Manaea.
All right, I guess. Who do? Frankie Montas, Griffin Canning. So
as long as they got the wink man.
The wink man's back. That's for sure. They have told the new Hall of Famers what cap they're going to wear on their plaque. CeCe Sabathia will have the Yankee cap. Billy Wagner had a lot of teams possibility, but it will be the Astros for him on his Hall of Fame
Rose,
plaque.
Seattle, but CeCe's so fat, you're going in as a bomber. God bless him. The
bomber.
Ferrall finish. Vince Neil was not on board on his plane when it crashed into another plane at Scottsdale Airport. His girlfriend and dog was on board, though. I've seen that guy party in the Bahamas, and literally he had a cabana, and he was covered with like 40 chicks and like 20,000 bottles of champagne, and everyone was naked. I just wanted to say that. I partied with him once, too, for 3 days and didn't shower. I did. I left L.A., and I never came back for 3 or 4 days. Army Hammer ate an animal's heart, says he is still not a cannibal. Okay, Army. How's that career going? Kanye West Yeezy website goes offline after Mafia tells me they were selling swastika t-shirts. Gee, I wonder why they shut it down. Kid Rock throws a tantrum after no one clapped for him during a guest appearance in Nashville, did a concert and stood up to sing and no one clapped, so he walked off stage and told everyone to F off. He said, F y'all. GTD is next. Get the Ferrall app. Search Ferrall. Good things happen there. We'll see you tomorrow at 3. I'm coast to coast.
Low play drum beat grows louder and louder every week to the point now that they're making overt references to it on the broadcast.
So there's plenty of other guys that have to get faster. Tom definitely is more deliberate in his conversations, always has been since he's been on tour. I just think about Joe Scavern, when those two started working together, how their conversations always seem to just keep on going and going.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
I can't take Boston at minus 110. I don't see the value in it, right? You're getting minus money. If Boston were to turn around and become even money or a plus 105 or plus 110, yeah, I can understand you want to take that. So because of the value at 5.5 to 1, I got to like the Knicks and their chances of coming out of the East.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
In a short format tournament like this, like the Olympics, now this is even smaller, only 4 teams. Who's got the best goaltending? You're talking 3 round robin games and then a knockout with 4 teams. So you're playing 5 games.
I'm not sold yet, Mike, on the USA stuff, on the merch, but I think I'm sold on the USA at least being in the final.
Only on SportsGrid.
Patino himself, in a clip that we just played, said basically the stats are not backing up the team's wins.
St. John's offensive glass. That's where a lot of opportunities for St. John's came from. St. John's does not shoot the basketball well. It might even be fair to say they shoot it poorly. They were 3 of 16 from deep last night, but it doesn't seem to matter to them.
Newswire, only on Sport.